Taphouse.
Hi guys, welcome to the Taphouse, where we rate beers and you rate us. And I'm your host E, and today the beer we have on tap is the Southern Pecan, the original pecan nut brown ale. I'm excited to try this one out because I never had a pecan beer, so I don't know how this is gonna affect me or if it's gonna taste bitter, but I'm excited about it. So let's go ahead and read what the can, or actually the box has to say. Southern Pecan Nut Brown Ale is the first beer in the world, to our knowledge, made with the whole roasted pecans. The pecans are used just like grain and provide a nutty characteristic and a delightful depth to the flavor profile. This beer is very lightly hopped to hollow what the hell? That kind of threw me off. Sorry. This beer is very lightly hopped to hollow the malty, caramel, and nutty flavor to shine through. The color is dark mahogany. Southern Pecan was born in bronze medal, and Pecan won a bronze medal in the 2006 World Beer Cup in the specialty beer category. So obviously, the brewery is Lazy Magnolia. I had a few beers way back then from them, and they were perfectly amazing. So I'm excited to try this one out. Please be Twist Top. It's not Twist Top. Let me go ahead and I don't have any. You know what? I have my keys. I had to do my keys again. Anyways, let's go ahead and try this beer out. So let me pop open the bottle real quick. If you don't have any bottle opener, I recommend using your Scion keys because that's been my to-go. It's been a little chipped right here, but who cares about that? So let's put this back in my back pocket. So let's go ahead and try this beer out. Cheers. Well, obviously you can do the pour first. So let's put that in there for the audience. Let's see how this beer, the color looks like. Very nice brown texture. I like it. It doesn't look too dark, so it looks like it's going to be very chill. It's going to go through amazingly. I am very thirsty as hell, and I haven't drank any water or anything in the past hour or two, so I'm really thirsty, and I'm craving this beer like crazy. It's a very beautiful box, by the way. You know what it reminds me of? The Last of Us. Not The Last of Us 2, but The Last of Us 1. You know how it has that whenever you put the intro for whenever the selections is and whatnot, and the windows just open and the wind's blowing and the guitar is playing in the background. That's what the box reminds me of. But let's get back to the beer. Little kind of tidbit there. Let's see how this smells like. Shit, oh yeah. Smells very earthly. I can sense the pecans are in there. Obviously, it's pecan beer. It smells really good. You know, it's just a hint of sweetness that you can smell from it, but it doesn't smell like what you would think a beer would smell like. So it's really interesting. I like the smell. Let's go ahead and give this motherfucker a taste. That's a big ass gulp. It's very, very light. It goes down very smooth. Not a lot of bitterness. It's a little bit of bitterness, but actually, it's just a hint of bitterness. Not overwhelming, so I think that's the positive. I have no halo. It's a very, I would say, summery beer. If I'm thinking about anything that it basically kind of resembles for a beer for me. That is really good. Let me go ahead and put these beers to the side because I don't want them to get cold. I do want to drink on the podcast. Have a lot to say. And a lot of things that I am embarrassed about. Oh, but I didn't even notice a can. I mean, sorry, the bottle has here when it's perfect to eat it or what it's paired with. Great. So it's paired great with the steak. I can see that. A burger? Yeah, totally. Chocolate? Debatable. But y'all be the judge of that. And it's the best 40 Fahrenheit to drink it on. And also it's 20% IBU, so it's very light. It's also 4.5% alcohol by volume. It's one of the lighter beers we had on the podcast. Usually we go 5% and up, but I'm kind of glad we kind of sticked it to the lower percent right now, because like I said, if you want to go ahead and drink something on the summer night, this is probably perfect for you. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's a brewery that I enjoy drinking their beers. I do like their brewery. And but the flavors on the beer, it's amazing. I don't know. It's what you expect a nice cold brew to be on a summer night. And I keep saying summer because it's summer basically, but I know most of us are stuck at home. So if you want something light and not that it will go something that will hit you hard and get you drunk like right away, this beer probably wouldn't do that to you. But if you want to chill back, smoke weed. I didn't say that. Chill back with your homies and your tacuaches and stuff like that. This was pretty great. I was kind of the pecan taste. I kind of was expecting to come out more, but I think that's fine, especially since you don't want that to be the thing that kind of sticks out more than anything. The alcohol, for what it is, it's fine. It's not like crazy beer to go over. Like it's for a light beer, it's not the craziest flavors that it has, but it's well enough. It's done well enough where it's substantially great to drink. So I believe that this beer gets a yay from me. So that beer is amazing. So let me go ahead and let me get started by saying this. Let me put these beers to the side because I'm gonna drink these later on. I got 2 beers here that are gonna be in the cold for me. But okay, first let me just say I apologize for what I put out on Tuesday. I tried to do something different. I don't think it even worked. I had the video version of it. I don't want to put it up because it's that embarrassing, and I don't really want to. No. So it's up to y'all if y'all want to see the video. If I get at least one comment, I don't know, either Instagram or fucking SoundCloud if I have it. I mean, I have it in Twitter, obviously Twitter. If I get any little bit of just an ounce of one comment that it says, bro, can you please put out the video of that obnoxious thing that I did on Tuesday? So I would do it. I just feel really cringy to even go through it again. I recorded it and I felt stupid as shit to record that little thing, the little segment called Untapped. It was supposed to be a 10-minute episode. It ended up being 18 minutes because I put 2 versions of it on just because I didn't know which one would be more cringier than the other one. So I recommend, or if you are the person that likes cringe, that's a good video for you. Well, actually not video, sorry. The good episode that I put up early on the podcast on Tuesday. So if you want to hear that, I don't know how long it can last until you feel cringy, because I heard it personally and I recorded it and I edited it. And I still felt goosebumps and my hair stuck up listening to myself throughout the whole episode of that Untapped. It was one of the worst things I've done in my entire life. But I remember talking to Kay and telling him that, you know what, I kind of want to keep that going, the episodes, and try to make it more cringy as possible, because I could be more cringier than that. But I don't know, I'm deciding about it. I don't know, I haven't had any good feedback at all about anything when it comes to that specifically. The beers, I mean, like I said, it's quarantine. I'm in the one-man setup right now, so I'm keeping it as chill as possible throughout the quarantine. But eventually, I really need my boys back. I just talking to myself sometimes makes me go crazy. It's doable. I mean, sometimes it comes out pretty good. Some of the episodes came out genuine. But I digress. So let me get back to the topic of the Untapped episode. So I could do that, or just cancel it on all in general, or I could go ahead and make it cringy as fuck and keep it like that, and then see how bad I could make it even worse on the next one and the next one and the next one. Make it so bad that it'll be a hard listen. It'll be something to be very difficult to listen to. So I want to see what y'all think out there. So I really do hope if anybody listens to it and listens to this episode this beginning episode, I really hope that I'll get at least one message telling me, bro, put that video out or keep doing that, whatever it may be. So I'm sorry about that episode. So I do want to get into some other news when it comes to the life that I'm living through quarantine. So one thing I do want to say before I continue to my rambles, I finally got some closure throughout this week. Some good closure, some great closure. You know, I feel really happy now. I am. Well, I was kind of going through some shit sometimes, but right now I feel really great. I feel amazing. That's the last episode before the Untapped episode came out. Fuck, I forgot what it was. I think it was that acceptance of emotions. Yeah, down when I heard it. That was probably the most I've ever spilled out of how I felt on the podcast. I mean, like I said, quarantine kind of makes you think a lot, and it puts you in some situations that you don't really have control over, and you just tend to just say some stuff that, you know, it's been in your mind for a while. But it did help me out, and I feel much better talking about it on the podcast, and especially with y'all, who y'all listen to. I feel like you are part of my life at the time, or in this moment. I feel like you're the only thing that I could come out to talk to, other than who I normally do talk to. But well, I don't know what the fuck I'm going with this. Basically, yeah, that was pretty crazy. I'm keeping it more lightly today, and I think I finally gotten past that hump that kind of kept me down in the slumps. So I want to go ahead and just move forward from here. But I did want to mention I did get closure, and I feel more amazing now. Man, give me one quick second here. So yeah, also a quick update on the podcast. I am going to move the episodes to Friday. So it gives me time. So, because I normally record on Saturdays or Fridays nights. So it gives me time to edit the full episode a whole week rather than record it on a Saturday and have it to edit it on a Tuesday. Having it be out on a Tuesday. It's just my computer is like one of the worst computers ever. I don't have money to buy a new one. So when it renders videos wise, audio wise is fine. It's easier to do it right away. But I want to make it where I get to listen to all of it before I edit it. Because what I do, I edit it, but I don't listen to none of it. So the first time I listen to the podcast is when it's already live. And sometimes it comes out like shit. And I'm like, oh, that could have been cut off. But I have yet to cut off anything. Because just to short it down, or because things didn't sound good. Everything I leave on there. So it's a pretty consistent thing that I've done for the past 90 episodes. What else? Oh yeah, the second episode is up to y'all. I don't know. I don't care. That one, it was fun. Oh, actually, no. That time it wasn't fun, but the idea was fun of something coming up with something creative. I still don't know what I want to do yet, but if I can't figure out what I want to do, I'm gonna go ahead and skip it all out. But let me get started with what happened and what I found out this weekend. Well, last weekend on Mikasa. We're at me M's apartment. So we got shot at. Well, actually, I didn't get shot at. M got shot at. Technically speaking, we live in a very nice neighborhood. Well, I thought it was a nice neighborhood, but I used to live at a moderately ghetto place. If that makes any sense. You know, it's, for me, it was more like, oh, we know who is who, you know, so we kind of just keep our distances and keep it chill. You know, if they do things, we do things. Who cares? You know what I mean? We live our lives. We tend not to get in nobody's businesses. So moving out here, it's like, oh, what the hell things do we have to, you know, confront? There's not really anything to confront. So for me, it wasn't even like a second thought, you know. It was just more, this bitch ass neighborhood is quiet as hell, and I go outside and it's like I walk 3 steps and the whole fucking building could hear it, you know. So for me, it's kind of a new thing, and I got used to it. I've been here for like 2 years already, almost going to 3. So I've never really encountered anything bad around here, and it's well, damn man, this beer's good. I can't let it go. It's really refreshing. Shit, that's really good. But basically, it was during the protesting, right? And our manager from the apartments, she told me that there was a drive-by that happened across our apartment complexes and to some condos. And they shot inside the building, and I guess nobody was at home, so thank God nobody got hurt. But I feel like they were aiming for somebody specifically. Now, who it is or what it is, I have no fucking clue. I mind my own business. Like I said, I came from a neighborhood where you just fucking mind your own business. If you see some things, whatever, you know, it ain't part of you, you know. But I mean, obviously, if there's like somebody being hurt or, you know, somebody dying, you interject, you know, hey, calm down. But other shit, you know, that doesn't make nobody's dying or shit, or nobody's getting hurt, I'll just technically look the other way sometimes. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but you know, if you live in a bad neighborhood, you just kind of mind your own business. Unless they fuck with you, then that's when shit happens, you know. But from there, I don't know how to say this. I think the next day they were trying to do a drive-by again. But okay, before that, right? Whenever the manager told me what happened and if I heard it, the gunshots, and I'm like, yeah, I heard the gunshots. And she asked me, oh, it's part of the protesters. And I don't know why I found that very offensive. Cause like, okay, so we live borderline right next to the ghetto, and then you go to the other side of the border, super rich, you know. So it doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised if people might have had some deals over here to some rich people, and maybe shit went wrong and they just want to retaliate. So I feel like that's what it is. I don't think it's the protesters. Protesters just don't fucking choose an apartment complex they want to shoot at for a consistent time and for consecutive days. You know, like there's not such thing that. No, you know, I found it very offensive. So I was like, I really wanted to say, why the protesters? What's going on? You know, and I was gonna be like, I went to the protest twice. Like, what am I? You know, but I don't know. I didn't have the energy to even interject myself and say, hey, you dumb, you know. But I mean, I feel like maybe she saw. I don't know. I guess because I feel like she slumped all the protesters together into like a ghetto thing, and that was kind of angered me because I'm like, no, it's not. It's a powerful thing. So I was really pissed, but I left it alone because I wanted to go inside and walk the puppies. But that's the only time she ever brought it up, and that's the only time she ever talked about it. But the next day after that drive-by shooting or whatever over here on the apartment complex behind me, M saw the car driving in front of us on the patio. Now, I was here in my room jamming out with these headphones, these motherfucking magnificent headphones that are noise cancellation. So I heard something substantially loud, like something that, like, okay, if my headphones could pick it up whenever it's, noise cancellation, something must have happened. So I kind of took my headphones off and just kind of like waited. And then all of a sudden I heard M come and knock at the door. Hey, did you hear that? I'm like, what? That's a gunshot, dude. I was like, oh, a gunshot. Okay. For real? I was like, yeah. Like, oh, damn. Like, yeah. The guys, they were driving. I guess they were the same guys that was shot the apartments. They were driving by, and I just saw them. Like, I mean, I was just smoking a cigarette. And I guess they saw me that I saw them, and they shot up in the air. And I was like, oh, well, that's crazy. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, man, they fucking saw him. They know which apartment we are in. And I'm like, fuck, they're going to come after us, you know, if they end up doing some harm to somebody, you know? So it became a little bit of like a concern to me. Something that I just, I had in my mind, like behind my head, in the back of my mind, I felt like, okay, I had to just worry about it just a little bit, just enough where I could take it serious, just enough to be prepared if anything happens. So when I go outside, I consistently just keep walking, looking around, who's around me, at a nice neighborhood, not to mind you. So like, it's crazy that I have to think about that in a nice neighborhood. I mean, that's kind of why I kind of moved, so I won't have to really worry about anything like that. But things happen, shit happens. You can't really escape anything, regardless where you're at. So I thought about it for a couple of days, and then weeks passed, and then that's it. We kind of just forgot about it, because I think the shooting stopped. I mean, I still hear sometimes randomly. Like, I think this week I heard some gunshots somewhere on the right side, and I'm like, this is kind of happening on a consistent basis. But then I'm thinking about it. Okay, it might be the fireworks now. But I mean, you could kind of which ones are fireworks and which ones aren't if you've been around gunshots for all your life, or if you hear gunshots all the time, you kind of know the distinction between the fireworks and the gunshots. The fireworks sound loud, and I think the gunshots give out an echo. I don't know if that makes any sense. You just know. So let me open up this beer real quick, because I don't want to spill it. And that's how Popple cracks the Snapple. So that happened, right? Weeks passed, nothing happened. A few gunshots here and there, but I mean, not really what I expected. It sounded further away. But I noticed a hole in the wall of the apartment, like in the way back. And I was like, okay. Oh, okay. Well, at first, I remember I had, I don't know if you can see behind me. Oh, well, anyways, like a little sprayer. I had my gosh, I can't even think about it. An air freshener sprayer, right? To hang it on the wall. And it was like right there close to the hole. So in my thought, I was like, maybe I yanked it off and I kind of ripped a hole in the wall. And, it was my fault. So I remember telling M and like, hey, dude, did you see that hole in the wall? Was that me? He's like, yeah, I thought that was you. He automatically blamed me, like always, because I'm kind of a snob sometimes when it comes to living with me. So I was kind of thinking, I'm like, okay, it was just a hole in the wall. Nothing big, whatever. It's stupid, right? So 2 days pass by, and then we see another hole in the wall. Well, I see another hole in the wall. I'm like, dude, there's another hole right there, like on the opposite side of the other wall. Like, they're kind of lined up, But I didn't think too much of it. I was more thinking of along the lines like, maybe somebody came into our apartment and they put those holes on purpose to maybe put something else, or maybe we just kind of fucked the apartment up when we were drunk and we didn't even notice it, So I was kind of technically just looking, like I was just kind of in awe, and I was like, what's going on here? What's going on, So I left it at that. And I think M joked around saying, oh man, we just got shot at. And in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, that really? Like that kind of makes sense, because they were kind of lined up. And I was like, really? And he's like, nah, I'm just kidding, man. I was just messing with you. And then that was that, right? Oh, it tastes really good when it's cold there. Damn, man, they really. Okay, I could taste a little bit of the pecan now. The more I drink of it, more I drink it. Okay, so after that, the same night, once we kind of just joked about it and left it at that, and went outside to smoke a cigarette. I wasn't here playing the game. I think it was Sunday night. He walked in my room, and then he asked me, "Hey, dude, come here. I think it was a gunshot." And I was like, "Really?" So we went to the patio, and then the hole that was in the inside, it was on the opposite side of the wall. On the other side of the wall, like the entry of where the because at first I was like, okay, because you can't tell really if it went through the wall, but if you look at it on the outside of it, yeah, you could tell the bullet. It was a fucking bullet. And even the shell of the bullet is stuck on the wall. So we haven't touched that yet. I'm still debating if she even say anything. Obviously, I feel like we have to, or at least report it, But I mean, the gangster in me don't want to do shit, A G dies like a G, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyways, the bullet went through the wall. By the way, it was a fucking actual bullet, We did M did get shot at, so I'll get to that right now in a moment. But once I figured out, oh my gosh, so I went back inside to look at the inside, see if it lined up. But then I started to notice on the roof of the wall, the top of the roof of the apartment, you see a line, like a fucking line scratch, like just like a perfect line. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? The bullet just ricocheted off the top of the roof and then to the other side of the wall. It hit a hole in that wall too. I'm like, oh my god, like what? You know? So I was kind of, I was a little afraid. I was like, oh my gosh, how did the fuck this happen? Like, and I was like, okay, that's kind of like for it to ricochet off like that. It might have been the bullet hit the wall and the bullet pushed a piece to the roof, and the little scratch hit the roof, and then the piece hit the wall and made another hole. I don't know. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was the bullet that went through, you know, it ricocheted on the roof and hit the other side of the wall. And that's just scary because we have wood walls, you know, it's not like metal or anything like that. So for it to ricochet, it had to have a perfect angle, I guess. I feel like the Kennedy shot, you know, they tried to get us, you know. So, and then M started to retell his story on like when the car passed by, and he was telling me, dude, maybe, just maybe, instead of them aiming up, they act like they were shooting in the air, but they were aiming towards me to shoot at me. And I'm like, bro, that makes total sense for them just to shoot up randomly. Like, I wouldn't waste a bullet in the air. Like, if you saw me, I wouldn't just be like, well, yeah, he saw me, guys, so in order for us to kind of act like we ain't doing nothing, let's just shoot up in the air. Like, what do you, like, you don't do that. If you motherfucking bullets cost money. If you're gonna waste money, bullets, you're gonna waste money. So why just shoot a random bullet in the air? So I think that they actually shot towards M when they were shooting it or driving away and shot like that, bam. And M had his headphones on, so like kind of like mine. So he just like, he kind of heard it a little bit through, and he's like, what the hell? But he didn't think anything of it, and it just went away. The guys just drove off. He didn't see him again. The first thing I told him, I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna work out on the freaking patio no more. I mean, on the patio anymore in the afternoon or at night. I don't want to get shot at. Hell no. And I told him, dude, like, honestly, I had my headphones on, so if you got shot at, I wouldn't even know it until the next day. Probably into the afternoon after you're rotting out there, you know? Because he always drinks cigarettes. He always smokes cigarettes, so when he does that, he goes to bed. So I'm going to assume if he's not out in the morning or in the afternoon, he's smoking a cigarette. I mean, I would check on him eventually just to say something, but I told him, dude, like, dude, I don't even know if I would have ever, how you call it, known if you were going to die if you would have got shot at. Like, it was just a thought because they were aiming towards his head, I think, or at least him in general, in his angle, in his you know. So yeah, that happened, you know. It was crazy because it was a surreal moment that the one time we got shot at, it was in the nice neighborhoods rather than the ghetto or where we used to live at, which is kind of modern to urban to ghetto in some areas, like all in bunch in one. There's like a portion of it that's kind of nice, but that's very far in between. So that happened, and we kind of just don't know what to do. I mean, M says he's gonna write a report and give it to the manager, and she could do what she needs to do about it. But if we have this show, I'm sure they could like find who spot it, you know. But in my side, in my head, I'm like, fuck it, nobody died, who gives a shit. But then again, no, you know, like, we're grown men now. If something like that happens to us, or if we had a family, there's no hesitation, I would go ahead and report that shit right away. But yeah, like I told myself, well, M could deal with this, so he's gonna deal with it. I don't know if he did already or if he didn't, but he'll eventually deal with it. So yeah, if anything comes up about it and shit happens or somebody gets caught, then I guess I keep you updated. I don't know. I mean, it's just a story in progress that keeps continuing, which is been pretty crazy, you know. And in that moment, I'm like, I'm over here bitching about dumb things about quarantine. Well, not quarantine is not a dumb thing to bitch about because quarantine sucks. But I guess, I don't know. It made me realize, okay, well, I mean, getting almost shot is not even a thing that happened to me. It's happened to M. But it just made me appreciate where I'm at right now a little bit more. But speaking of COVID, like, yeah, Texas is kind of increasing here. And I think it was a couple days ago that we were almost at max capacity on beds. So please wear your masks out there. motherfuckers, I work with my mask all day, and I don't fucking get bothered by it one bit. But I am a runner, so like, it doesn't really bother me regardless. But for those who are complaining about it, I mean, I went to get a haircut, as you can tell. Not a bad. Well, it's bad, but I mean, it was before they shut down a lot of shit. Cause I was tired of the fucking long ass hair. That shit was hard to manage and shit. I mean, I kind of risked my life to go out there and get a haircut. That's my bad. But anyways, I got a haircut and I wore a mask the whole time, which is kind of weird. Like they just slid the mask off, held it, cut the ears around it, put it back on for me. It was pretty cool. It was nice. Gotta admit, it was pretty nice. So I got the haircut. But while waiting to get the haircut, there was this guy that had cowboy boots, like, you know, kind of a ranch dude. A richer dude. He walked in there, you know, guns blazing, all rooting, tooting, and hooting, and all that shooting and whatnot. He had his mask on or whatnot, and he told the lady, "Hey, ma'am, can I open my car? I don't wanna keep breathing my carbon monoxide. I'm getting so dizzy. Pussy bitch." Is that a bad thing to say? I don't give a fuck. But I'm like, dude, come on. Like, I thought, you know, you pick up your boots by your straps or whatever the fucking saying is, and you know, you toughen that shit out, you know, cowboy and shit like that, you know, mud trucking and fucking all that bullshit and whatnot, you know. I mean, I live in Texas, I don't give a fuck. I can say all that shit if I want to. You know what I'm saying? But you can't fucking wear a mask for not even 10, 20 minutes. Like, I think he was in there for just 40 seconds. He's already bitching about it. And I'm like, bro, come the fuck on. I mean, I appreciate you at least asking if you could take it off. And they said no to you. You kind of just said, okay, I'll go to my car. I commend you for that. Condone you? Condemn you? Commend you. Yeah, I don't condone you or condemn you, because, yeah, I commend you for that. At least asking. And then at least if you got denied, you were like, okay, I'll go back. You know, I'll go back to my truck and be a little bitch about it. Pussy bitch. You know? So, I don't know what people say. And now that I think of it, people who don't wear masks people who don't wear masks are pussies. That should be the right saying. If you wear a mask, you're a badass motherfucker, because, you know, you're strong ass. You know, you're badass. You know, you fucking wear a mask. You could, because, you know, because if the people who are tough and can't wear a mask and, oh, my carbon monoxide's gonna come up, you know, if you're that person, then you're a little bitch. You know? Yeah, you little bitch. Sorry, in my head, I'm just like, I keep replaying that in my head. I'm like, what? What? Doctors wear that shit all the damn fucking time. It's like part of their job, you know? I have to wear that bitch all the goddamn time because I work with medical stuff. But, you know, I mean, yeah, first I had to get comfortable. And I keep repeating this story because I feel like somebody's going to hear it and be like, okay, I kind of feel what he used to feel when he first started, you know? But when I first started wearing my mask, I feel, yeah, a little comfortable. I kind of hated breathing my own breath. But after a time or a day, after, you know, after you just focus on working and doing your activities you need to do, you just forget about it. You're just like, well, it's right there. You feel a little bit of a tension here in your nose, but I mean, that's fine. I mean, are you going to die of corona? No, probably not. I mean, like, are you going to get infected by the corona? I mean, less likely you won't, but I mean, it still has the possibility. That's why you got to goddamn keep your distance. That's why I don't have my co-host in here. Because we have another case positive of COVID at our job again. Oh my god. Everybody's getting fucking positive. Getting tested positive. I'm like, come on. You know, like, fuck me. It feels like now it's like, who's not gonna get it, you know? Like, shit. The schools are opening up. And okay, sorry about this. I'm gonna keep talking about I kind of want to talk about something else also as well, other than my shooting stuff. But the COVID updates, you know, it's part of our lives. You know, mine is more the dumbed down version of it, where it's like my opinions of it. So it might not be your opinions, but it is what it is for me. I could kind of technically say my shit because it's my podcast. You know what I'm saying? Nah, just kidding. But I have to talk about it because it's part of my life and it kind of affects the fuck out of me. But basically, I feel like Man, I don't know what the fuck are they. Okay, I don't know. I know. Okay, let me just say this: the schools, right? The colleges and the elementary schools and the high schools, and like basically all the education systems. You know, they're forcefully trying to reopen all those. I don't know. It's hard because I understand. Not Trump or them. I don't understand none of that shit. I mean, I give two shits about Betsy DeVos. She could fucking suck a dick. Anyways, I mean, I don't see. Okay, you know what? Goddamn, I'm going crazy here. I'm going too raw. I didn't mean to say suck a dick to Betsy DeVos, but I do not like her controlling of the educational system. I apologize, but I do not like what she's doing in the educational system. My sister talks to me about some things that she might implement that makes sense, but I don't. I mean, I disagree with a lot of things with what she says. So I do apologize about the second dick comment. I was kind of angered. But I do want to say that I get why they want to try to force kids to go back to school. Not because, I mean, the whole COVID shit sucks. Yeah, that's gonna fucking suck ass, you know? So for it to happen, I think, especially for teachers, you know, like some are elderly teachers and they could, you know, it could be something that become bad. Especially since the teachers are the ones to be around children more often. The thing is, I know there's a lot of also, a lot of kids who don't have homes and rely on the school lunches, because some parents are, you know, Latinos, and some parents that are like from different locations around the world, you know, like not from this country, they need those schools in order for them, like those schools are beneficial to them because they have somewhere for the kids to be at while they go to work, you know? And not to say that they don't want their kids at home. No, I think if anything, they prefer that. But if they could go to work while the kids could be at school and not having to pay for nanny or anything like that, it's a pretty good thing for them. And I'm not saying, you know, like everybody's like that, but the majority that I know for Latinos, like parents work during the day, kids go to school, parents pick them up after work, and then, you know, that's that. But also because there's a lot of child abuse, you know, and a lot of kids don't want to be at home with their parents because their parents aren't the best parents. They smoke, they cheat, all this stuff, you know. So I'm not saying every parent's like that, but like I can see that side of the argument of why opening up schools, because, you know, the kids don't want to be at home, especially the ones that have a bad abusive household, you know. That's one thing that I agree to go back to school, but there's also a way to do it, I guess. Like I just want to see how they're going to implement if they do force people to go back to school, like how the kids are going to wear the face mask, how they're going to do the whole 6 feet. I know somebody told me that they're going to have teachers going back and forth instead of the students moving around, so they will have less of a, you know, infection rate going up. There's a lot of variables to go along with that. Like, obviously you want to keep every children safe, and you don't want your whole staff to have COVID, and then they go home and give their kids COVID, and their spouse give COVID, and then you don't want those kids to spread out to everybody else. You know what I mean? I think, yeah, their rates will probably go higher if you open up the schools, but yeah, it's a difficult situation. But the way they're going about it, the whole Trump administration, it feels like they're kind of like forcing hand. They're using politics to play that politics role of saying that, oh, you just want to use it for, you know, the Democrats just want to use it for politics, and like just to keep the schools closed or something like that. I forgot what it was specifically, but no, it's just that we just don't know how to do it yet. We don't know what to do yet. If we can't open up businesses correct, how the fuck are we gonna open schools? It's gonna be very difficult, especially since kids, like, you know, they're kids, you know, they kind of just want to do their own thing, especially the little kiddos, you know. And I was talking to Laura about it, like, there's kids who are going to lick their mask. There's kids who are going to like put the mask wrong. There's kids who are going to be playing with the mask or slingshotting it, you know. I think she said she saw it on TikTok. And yeah, it's going to be something of a learning progress, especially for the teachers and the students as well. But I see why they shouldn't open it up. I see why they shouldn't open it up, and I see why they shouldn't. So it's a very difficult task that the educational system has to go through. But I do highly agree and I don't know if this is a bad take, but if they are going to open up the schools, fucking raise their pay rate for the teachers. They deserve a higher motherfucking pay rate, like a lot. They deserve $50,000 a year. Give them $100,000. Shit. I mean, that's probably a lot, but I mean, I think they fucking work their asses off every single day. I mean, day by day by day by day, they work their ass off. They go home, they don't fucking stop working. They do class plans, and they do curriculums. They work their asses off. They are taking care of your children, our children. They're taking care of their children while taking care of their children while making plans for the next day, for the next 6 weeks, for the next month. You know, some teachers go above and beyond and go past that, and they still had to buy their own supplies. They still had to go through all this fucking bullshit to get a lot of shit. So if you're gonna open up schools again, please pay your teachers way the fuck more and give them all the safety precautions they fucking need to help them out to not have this go out of hand. So I love our teachers. They're amazing and they deserve everything they fucking can. I think they've been in the bottom for so fucking long. Like, I don't think they've ever been like in a good place as far as like anybody else should be. You know, I think they deserve to be as high as paid as doctors. And you could say that's controversial. No, I don't think it's controversial. I think they should get paid a fuck ton. Like, I get that you had to go through doctors. You have to be like go to school for a long time and be prestigious and shit. But people look at teaching like, oh, it's an easy job. It's not a fucking easy job. I mean, it's easy if you love it and you know what you're doing and you're consistently doing it. Yeah, there's some teachers who are kind of like, I'm just gonna go about it. But the most part, teachers deserve all the fucking credit that they deserve, and they should get paid a ton fuck, and they should get their fucking benefits too, because they're gonna have kids that are gonna be infected with COVID, so they need benefits to take care of that if that happens. You can't open up a school and then be like, oh, okay, take care of it. You don't have insurance? Well, too bad, bitch. No, help them out. If you're gonna open up the schools, help them out with insurance, help them out with extra pay, make every precaution you need to better that, the entry of schools during the fall. And I don't know, hope for the best, I guess. But teachers out there, I don't know if you get this, nobody tells you this, okay, I need to calm down. Teachers out there, if nobody tells you this, if nobody has told you this in the past couple months or years, we appreciate you. You are amazing and you're doing wonderful things. And I know sometimes the curriculum or I guess the educational system doesn't let you teach the way you want to teach, and that sucks. But thank you for sticking it out regardless and trying to do the best you can with what you have, because I promise you, I don't think a lot of people could do what you can. And I just want to say, you're badasses, So cheers. I don't know how the hell that came up. I wasn't even going to talk about teaching, but I guess because I have a lot of people who are in that, that are, in the educational system. So for me, it's kind of personal. And I see a lot of those teachers struggle every goddamn day. And it pisses me off that nobody does that. It helps them out. So I just wanted to kind of give him a little rant there about that, because I don't know if I was being coherent enough, but it happens when I get into it pretty hardcore, Get on my podcast. I get crazy a little bit. Kind of get out of hand. Again, I'm sorry about the comments that I said about Bessie DeVos. I did apologize. Even though I didn't want to. But I did apologize. I'm sorry. One more thing before I go out. Before I leave. So I've been running more lately, and I've been so fucking great about it. I've been so excited and so happy about it, because I've been making personal goals, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the running. I think now I run on average, like my normal runs, I run 7 miles now. I moved up from 3 to 4 to 7. Feels so great. And then this week last week, or I think it was on Monday. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run 7 miles in under an hour. I started off wrong and I started off bad. Because when I started off, I put it on my Nike app, whatever, to kind of keep you the time limit and distance and stuff like that, and calories I burnt. So I put it on, but I was running, and then like 5 seconds in, my shoe came untied, and I'm like, okay, well then fuck the whole hour shit. I'm not gonna make it anymore because I'm already wasting 30-40 seconds here just tying my shoe. So for those who do not know me, I'm terrified of lightning. Like if I'm outside and there's lightning, I think I'm gonna die. I think that lightning's gonna strike me, and I think I'm gonna die. Like that's the way I think I'm gonna die, is lightning strike. Because I'm terrified of it. People fucking don't give a shit, and they think it's amazing to be outside during lightning. Come on, guys. Come on. But anyways, I was running, and I think I was at the 6 mile mark. Sorry, the 4 mile mark. And then I was like, it was turn around, you know? And in my head, I saw the sky, the clouds coming, overshadowing the sun, and little by little, I felt a cool breeze, but it felt really great. Don't get me wrong. But then I saw one fucking lightning 10 miles away. And I was like, oh, that's totally not what I want to see right now. That is not what I want to see right now. I'm 3 miles away from finishing, and I have a long way to go. So the lightning kind of helped me to speed the fuck up because I didn't want to die. So I was like, oh yeah, let's get this. Let's go. Come on, let's go. And I was doing that for a good 2 miles. And then I was under the clouds, and it was really breezy, and I felt a little cold water. And like, no, it's going to rain. And then the lightning's going to hit me and I'm going to die. But then in my head, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to die, this is the way I want to go. Yeah, totally. This is the way I want to go. So I took off sprinting like a motherfucker the last mile. I was like, I'm getting this. I'm going to get this. And I wasn't even sure what was the time at, right? But I think the last 500 meters, I decided to just like literally give it all out. And I never do that. I'm the type of guy that's like, you know what? I want to finish it off, but I kind of want to still walk afterwards. And this one, I ran. I let my fucking legs just go crazy. My arms go waving back and forth. I decided just to keep going and going. I was like, I look fucking stupid right now, but I don't give a shit. I kept running. And then all of a sudden, doop, you hear the little beat on the Nike. You have run 7 miles, blah, 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 blah. And when I found out I ran it under less than an hour, I shit you not. At first, before I was thinking like, if I finish an hour, 7 miles, I'm gonna cry. But that was a thought, right? But I was just playing around. But when it did happen, man, I got emotional. I feel so fucking happy that I finally got a win. You know, y'all know me. I've been pretty chill, like kind of bummed out. But this is like the biggest win that I had in a long time. And it's something that I put my mind to, and I did it. I know it's not the fucking best thing ever. I know an hour, 7 miles, that's like a lot. But I did it. I put myself in the situation where I needed to be, and I did it, and I fucking did that mile, and I teared up. I looked up. People were looking at me like, what the fuck's wrong with that guy? It's like he just saw Jesus or something. Damn right, I saw Jesus of a mile. Anyway, a mile, an hour. Listen to whatever. Anyways, so I was ecstatic. I was happy. I was jubilant, and everything just made more sense to me, which is weird. Like I got that runner's high. I felt like I just conquered the world in that moment. And like I said, it's a little simple thing, but it's a big thing for me in that moment. And I felt really happy. And I after that, I was gonna do the podcast, but yeah, I kind of fucked up. So that's why I did it on Friday. That's why I changed the whole schedule, because I've just been riding the nice high wave since that day. So that's why I'm coming on the podcast and saying, guys, it's been a goddamn good week now. Yeah, so that happened. The mouth, and that's kind of been my whole week. This whole week, it's been great actually. Sorry again about the whole video, the whole podcast stuff. But anyways, I want to go ahead and stop here, end it here, because I know how I ramble on, and this beer has hit me pretty good. I'm not buzzing or anything like that, but it feels really great now. But this beer, I recommend it. Southern Pecan, guys. This guy, Southern Pecan by Lazy Magnolias, and it's called it's called the Southern Pecan. Bottled in November. Anyways, I want to say thank y'all for listening. We're almost in the 100 episode. I still don't know what the fuck to do on that episode. I think I might be by myself. It's gonna fucking suck. But if y'all come and join me, we're gonna just try a fucking beer like any other damn episode. So hopefully you're having a wonderful time. Please keep your distances. Put your fucking mask on. So be pussy ass bitches. And also say hi to whomever you see in the streets and be like, hey, we're gonna get through this. Anyway, so this has been Taps. Cheers. Bye.